are once more for another episode of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. So happy to have you with us. Last night, there was Republican presidential debate number 9. 9 of them so far. Talk about overkill. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and we're going to jump right on that debate stage right now. Well, as usual, we start off with the moderators, which weren't too bad. They weren't quite the, didn't have the panache of Gwen Ifill and Judy Woodruff of PBS, but they were okay. The major complaint I had with them is they were a little too trigger happy with that bell. I wanted to take that bell and make one of them eat it. I mean, every time someone started talking, they'd get out maybe 2 or 3 words and ding, 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 ding. And then they kept talking, ding, ding, ding. You know, like, okay, I heard you the first time. You didn't give me enough time to speak. I mean, I could understand time constraints when there were like 14, 15, maybe 16 candidates strong. But now they're only down to 6. I mean, come on. They do the same thing on the Democrat side with Bernie Sanders, Sanders, and Slithery Clinton. I mean, come on, let the people talk. That's what they're there for, so that we can, you know, make our assessments based upon the answers they give. Let the people talk. Are you going to let them talk for 3 hours on one question? No, but at least give them a chance to finish a bloody statement. So that was the problem I had with the moderators. The other problem I had with them, and that's throughout the whole 9 debates so far, is they seem to have a problem with Ben Carson talking. They try their best to exclude him, and it's blatant. You know, it's not just an oversight, it's blatant. I mean, he tries to joke it off, and he tries to be a true gentleman, which he is about it, but I know it's gotten to the point now where it's very irritating, and that needs to end. Now, as far as the candidates themselves, it is more than evident that this debate thing is getting long in the tooth, because these people are obviously very sick of being around each other. Last night's debate was not a debate, it was a debacle. You had the 2 primo Latinos going at each other, again, as to who can be more Latino than the other one, accusing each other of lying and all of this kind of thing. You had Jeb Bush on the other end bombarding Trump, and Trump going back at him. It seems like you had the 2 wet matches on the end, and when I say wet matches, I mean that in a good way, in the persons of John Kasich and Ben Carson. It's just too much, as Kasich said. He said, this is, you know, ridiculous. If we keep acting this way, we're going to as much as hand the Democrat craps the presidential nominee. Listen, folks, we are in terrible strife in this country. I'm a lot older than, I guess, a lot of other people in this country, probably not as old as some. But as far as that not as old as some, I and those types of people understand that this is not, what is that thing, exactly, UFC, that fighting?
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yeah, this is not UFC. It's certainly not the Wrestling Federation. It's not a boxing match. So I don't care about somebody going there battling and kicking ass and all that. That's idiocy. What I care about is somebody who's going to be adult enough to give me what I need as far as what they plan to do for this country, and then get their ass in there and do it. That's what I'm concerned about. I want them to kick ass when it comes time to getting jobs in this country. I want them to kick ass when it comes to getting these damn foreigners out of our country that are making our lives such strife. I want them to kick ass when it comes to making the hardline decision to say, no, we're not going to accept any damn refugees in this country until we get our own citizens and veterans off the streets and back into the mainstream. I want somebody to kick ass when it comes to making the tough call to ensure that our American lives are going to be kept strife-free. That's the type of ass I'm worried about getting kicked. For them to go around on the stage acting like children is not only ludicrous, but it's very embarrassing. Because as was alluded to, not only by me, but other people, even of the Republicans, that the world is watching. And how embarrassing it is at this very crucial time, now that we've lost a Supreme Court justice, crucial time for grown men to go around acting like children. It's disgusting. Now, I don't know what this thing is with Rubio and Cruz, but this thing with Jeb Bush, that guy shouldn't be in there. He is a catalyst that sets fire to a lot of things. He needs to be gone because, number one, he jumped all over Trump because Trump made a truthful statement about his brother George W. Here's the thing, and everybody knows this. His father, Jeb's father, George Herbert Walker Bush, old man Bush, spent 8 years under Reagan. Then when he broke out on his own, he went over there and started this first Desert Storm, or whatever the hell it was, war with Sad Man Insane. And came back with egg on his face because Saddam Hussein virtually kicked his butt. So he came back looking very lackluster. Okay, so Jeb was supposed to be running for president when George W. got it. But because W was a little older and, you know, a little more presidential looking, I guess, discovered, or the family decided to send him on. And what was W's intent? He went to Washington with the intent to vindicate his dried up father, to get Saddam Hussein back for sending, you know, his father back with egg on his face. And that he did. He lied, as Donald Trump said, he lied about these weapons of mass destruction, planted, you know, that said that there was something there that wasn't. And okay, that's how the whole thing started. Now the Middle East is destabilized. There's a bunch of hell breaking loose over there in every minute of every day because of this vindication. Now, if George W. had been honest with the people and said, hey, I don't like what they did to my father, and I want to go over there and pay him back, you know, for it. Are you with me, America? You know, who knows? You told us the truth? Yeah, go. We're behind you, George. Go get that bastard. But he didn't do that. He sneakily did it. Got a whole bunch of people killed. Got one of the longest wars in American history still ongoing. And that's his big legacy. What was his father's legacy? I can't think of anything all that interesting that George Herbert Walker Bush did as president. So when Jeb picked up the charter and picked up the Bush banner, should he be surprised if somebody throws tomatoes at it? No. If you can't stand the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. He wants to down Trump with eminent domain issues. Well, his own family pulled that same stunt with the Texas Rangers Stadium. So, I mean, you know, if you live in a glass house, don't start throwing bricks because somebody might throw them back at you, and if they get your house, it's going to shatter. So, I mean, that's his thing. And, you know, he's just, he was jumping on Kasich for something that he said. He's just like a, and he sat there with that condescending smile. He is a turd. A stinking turd. And he needs to be flushed. Because how many times out there, people, have your parents ever told you to stay out of the bushes? Nasty, creepy things come crawling out of the bushes and drag you in. Stay away from the bushes. We've had too many bushes in the White House and no more bushes. So if he's so big and so bad, why is he at currently 6% down there where they are in South Carolina, North Carolina? One of the Carolinas, where they are going to have the next, not debate, primary. Thank you. I'm really getting sick of this. No more debates. It's getting old. We know how they stand as far as taxes. We know how they stand as far as homeland security. We know how they stand as far as immigration and all that crap. We know how they stand with their tax plans. We know how they stand with a lot of things. We've had 9 bloody debates to get us to understand. So no more debates. We're through with that. Because I'm going to tell you something. If this keeps going, the way it is, because I honestly thought they were going to come to blows last night. If it keeps on that way, and with the stupid news whores and the way they perpetuate and instigate, I wouldn't be too surprised if they did come to blows. I remember one time I was watching telly, I think it was about a year or so ago, maybe more. I think the place was Poland, because I think they were trying to, if it wasn't Poland, it was Scotland or Ireland. One of them was trying to break ties with the European Union, and they wanted to have an election. And boy, did that thing get really nasty. In fact, they did go to blows. People came out bloody as hogs. You know, that's terrible. You can't get yourselves together in a, you know, an adult, congenial type fashion. So no more debates, because this is just going to get nastier and nastier. Rubio is accusing Cruz, and so did Donald, of doing this robot calling. You know, this guy isn't going to run in South Carolina, so vote for Cruz. I mean, this is getting really nasty. You know, and they are lying on each other. Y'all lie. At some point, you know, they keep going back trying to dig up dirt on this one and throw it in his face, and this one goes up. You know, it's just becoming a nasty, embarrassing spectacle. So they're asking the question, who won the debate last night? Nobody won, in my opinion, because it makes the Republican Party look bad. They haven't had the White House in soon to be 8 years, and if this is any indication, they probably won't get it again for another 8. You sit up there on stage and you say, "Oh, well, in order to get things done, you've got to work together with people. You got to be able to reach across the aisle. You got to be able to make that deal with this person. You can't even get together on the same damn stage. I mean, come on, no jerks. God, it's ridiculous.
It was embarrassing.
I mean, if I, you know, naturally when the thing broke, nobody knew who was going to be running for president. But as soon as we had enough numbers, I would have taken the lead and said, well, hey, let's get together. We haven't had the White House for 8 years, soon to be. Let's get together and get our game tight. Now, we're not going to agree on everything. This is true. But when we go out there before the public, we are a united front. We're going to work on one tax plan that we can present as a Republican Party. We're going to work on one thing about whatever these major bullets are: Homeland Security, creating jobs, tackling the national debt. Whatever it is we're going to do, we're going to present it not as my Caribbean's plan or Donald Trump's plan or Ben Carson's plan or Chris Christie's plan. We're going to present this as the Republican plan. And we're going to stick to this. Yes, we can hone it later, but we want to show the American people for once in the history of this cesspool, this quagmire of crap called politics, that we can be together, and get it tight. We want the White House back. We want the Senate and the House. We want whatever it is to be Republican, because that's who we are. And we've got to show the people, we've got to earn their trust, we've got to earn their respect, and show that we are a dignified front, ready to help them take care and take this country back. Is that so bloody hard to do? Obviously it is. And you claim that O'Bastard and John Scary and this Loretta Stinch and Slithery Clinton and all the other Democrats are not good for this country, then you need to get up off of this thing, because you're showing that you're 10 times worse. You can't even get together amongst yourself. Now you're whittled down to 6 lousy people on stage, and you fought worse than when you were 15. What the hell were you thinking? Nobody was watching you but the American public. Okay, the people overseas in these foreign countries be damned. They're not going to vote here. But the American people are. How much confidence, how much respect do you think you gained by that debacle that you did last night? And as we get closer to the time. I could see if you were doing it months back. The closer we get, the stupider you act. Get your game tight, gentlemen. Super Tuesday's going to be here in less than 2 weeks. Got 2 Super Tuesdays, one on the 1st of March and one on the 15th. That's like the halfway point that sets the stage. Then you keep going on, and then we get to the conventions. You know about all the crookedness that's going on out there with these Democrats, all these super delegates and all this kind of stuff. You think Slithery Clinton is worried about Sanders? No. Unless something really horrible happens to her, like the FBI come and haul her scraggly butt off to jail, she's figured she's got it locked. She got all these super delegates. Out of 700 and I believe it's 30-something delegates, she's already got more than half. If the stupid news whores are correct, she's got 450-something. And together has, yeah, he doesn't even have the remaining, I don't think. They were saying that even if Bernie Sanders did well in all of the primaries, he could still come out the loser because of all of these super delegates placed all around that can vote however they want, whenever they want, what have you. Whenever something is being undertaken, you got to remember the crooked factor in it. If I'm watching some kind of a team play, whether it be basketball, baseball, hockey, what have you, am I happy when the score is in favor of my team to say 7-4? No. I would be happy if my team was up 70-4 during the 4th quarter, or at the halfway point, or in the 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th. Then I would be pretty sure, yeah, we got it locked. But so many has been the time when my team has been up in the lead by a few points, maybe even by 10 points, and they keep chipping away, and they do something that's off color. The referee may do something, or the umpire may do something, or, you know, somebody may throw something out on the track and make the car spin around so the driver loses first place. You can never become complacent in these things because there's always a cheat factor, a crooked factor, especially in politics, because there's so many ways. You got to have so many electoral votes. You got to have so many people in the electoral college. You got to do the, it's crazy. It's not like it was back in the day when you just go out and vote, and then all of the precincts count up all of the votes, and then all of those votes are counted up, and whoever got the most votes won the presidency. It's not like that anymore. So you Republicans, you need to get your game tight because it is weak as water right now. As Donald would say, it's disgusting, it's weak, it's ineffective. And it's at your own hand. You can't blame the moderators this time. And like I said, the only thing I can blame them for was being a little too trigger happy on the bell. You created this garbage yourself. And what a bag of garbage it was. And it is my hope that there will be no more debates. After last night's debacle, let's just say forget it. The people know who we are. They know what we stand for. Let's not have any more debates. But on the off chance that you do, grow up. Acting like children is not a good thing unless you are a child. And most of you people on that stage, good Lord, there's enough age on that stage to get Social Security for the next 400 years. What is it? Carson is 60-something. Jeb is 60-something. Donald is 60-something. The only 2 young bucks are there, 44 and 45. 45 is Cruz, and 44 is... Or maybe I got it backwards. But I know somebody had a birthday because at one while they were both 44. So, I mean, come on. You're all adults. Bloody act like it. What's bloody wrong with you? Exec, you got anything to add before we close it out?
I don't think you pretty much covered it. I just totally agree with you that it seemed kind of childish, arguing back and forth and picking at each other's heels like a bunch of, you know, playful dogs or kindergarten children fighting each other and everything. You know, you need to show decorum and working together. I know you're not going to agree with everything like you said, but to keep your voices at a normal, calm tone like Mr. Carson always seems to do, you know, that would be more respectful and would show the world, as you say, they're on a world stage, that, you know, we can handle our business. And speaking of Ben Carson, they should have given a lot more airtime. He makes little jokes, you know, thank you for including me in this debate. I've had 2 questions so far. You know, uncomfortable laugh and everything. They should include him in a lot more questions. I think he only got like 4 questions and maybe one where he said they mentioned my name, can I respond to it? And it seems unfair to do that towards him. And I think you covered up pretty much everything else.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought Ben Carson back into this, because there was a couple more things that I wanted to say and didn't. Last night's deal, I think there was just a few seconds or so left before they had to go to commercial break. They allowed Ben to speak, then they shut him up. That was stupid. If they knew they had to go to break, they would say, okay, when we come back, we're going to go right to Dr. Ben Carson, because of the fact we do have to go to break. I mean, you know, I would hate to play the race card in this, but since he's the only black face on the stage, are they ignoring this man because of O'Bastard and his appearance of being black? And so they say, well, we don't want to give this black person too much credence because he may get some points and get back in there. Then we have 2 black people in there. First of all, let's correct that. O'Bastard isn't black. He's a mixed up, muzzy mess. If we did have Ben Carson, luckily enough to get to be president, we would then have our first black president. And to have the man on the stage and ignore him is, you know, disgusting. And it shows that the racism is, you know, alive and well. Let the man talk. He is very articulate in his speech. He never has blown out of proportion, even though he has had many opportunities to do so. He maintains his composure. He remains a gentleman. You know, he may not know everything about politics, and none of them that are going in there know everything about politics. The presidency isn't, they don't have presidential college where you go there and learn how to be a president. They don't have presidential courses, or they don't have a book, Presidential Tips for Dummies. You go in there with, as he said, good judgment, and surrounding yourself, as Donald Trump says, with the best and brightest, so that with these 2 factors going, your good judgment and surrounding yourself with people who know these things, you can be the best president you can be. The only president that has a knowledge of being a president and what it's like is the second termer. Okay, so whether or not they claim that Slithery is the most qualified person to be there, I say not. Because look at all of the debacles she has made. She is most prolific. She is most profound. She is most experienced at screwing up stuff. So if you want to go that route, yeah, then I don't know of anybody better. But, you know, to ignore this man and to just belittle him by their actions is disgusting, it's ludicrous, and that needs to stop. Because if there's anybody, based upon their actions, based upon being adult, based upon being intelligent, and using that intelligence for a good purpose, if the elections were tomorrow, Ben Carson would be my guy. All of them have good ideas except for Jeb Bush. But, I mean, you know, if you don't put your actions and your good ideas on a positive train and take it down the track, then there ain't no use in even cranking up the locomotive. And with that, I'll say thank you very much. We're recording this show as I speak on Valentine's Day, so all of you wonderful folks out there that have your special Valentine, may you have a good one, and may your day be filled with love and joy. And, you know, take care, stay safe, and we hope to see you right here again on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Thank you and goodbye.